Hey everyone, it's Dr. Bushman, and I wanted to take a little time and review the new or revised MAN 3503 Risk Management and Decision Making course. The course has a new textbook. It's a 2023 version of the Risk Management Handbook. It's one of a few industry standard text that is used not only in academics, but in business environments as well. And we're also using a leading software application called Lucid Charts that is used extensively for any type of business process mapping or creating diagrams, flow charts, and different types of graphics, images, and tables that we use in risk management, continuous process improvement, project management, all of the similar disciplines that go along with the risk management discipline. So the course continues its focus on teamwork. Risk managers work in teams, and so it's incredibly important that we learn how to operate in teams and do case studies, analysis, evaluation of different situations, and be able to create presentations and present them as teams. There is also in this course a set of quizzes, which are all based on the textbook reading. You'll be happy to know that you won't be covering every chapter in the book. Because once you open the book and see that the book is over 300 pages, you're going to go, oh my goodness, what have I got myself into? But we only cover a certain number of pertinent chapters for us to get a good handle on what is called the PAIR model in regard to risk management. And the PAIR model of risk management is simply stands for people, environment, assets, which assets also includes finances, and reputation. So we're going to cover those four categories in this class: people risk, uh, environmental risk, asset/financial, and reputational risk. That's going to be our focus. Along with that, there'll be some subtopics in each one. The course also includes a major team final project. What's different in this class as compared to the last version is that starting in Module 3, the team final project is actually woven throughout the entire course so that parts of it are completed along the way, so that at the end of the course, there's not so much of a burden or a rush or a pinch or stress in trying to get that large final project done. Matter of fact, there's a couple of individual assignments that contribute to the team project as well. So without any further ado, I'm going to share out my screen. Now I do run a dual monitor system, so if you see me turn to the right or your left, that's because I'm looking at my other screen. So let me share out the Canvas shell. And so the first thing that I want to make it very, very apparent is that if you're an instructor, that you're working with the right blueprinted course. The BLP 0655 standard course is the right course to import into your shell. Hopefully it will just be pushed into your shell. There is an old blueprinted standard course, and it is 0650. The 0650 is the old course. 0655 is fall 25 semester. So make sure we're working with that right course. Just like all the other courses, to access this syllabus, you click on Simple Syllabus. Keep in mind there is a secret word in the syllabus. You will need to know that to pass your syllabus quiz. So let's flip over to our modules. So for the instructors, you're going to see an instructor prep module. There's a copy of the syllabus in PDF format for you, and you will find a link to this video. For students, I will put a link to this video underneath the Begin Here module. So since I'm filming the video now, there's no link at the current time, but there will be when you start the course. One of the things that we have to be aware of is that there is a syllabus quiz, and you must score, or students must score 100% of that syllabus quiz to unlock the rest of the modules. So if you take a look at your modules, the prerequisite is the Begin Here module on every module throughout the course. So once the 100% scored, all the modules will open, and the students can begin the class. The other key link in the course is the Barnes & Noble Education course materials link. You must click on that, and this is where you will find your e-text. So this is where you will launch your textbook from the Barnes & Noble, BNED, Barnes & Noble Ed course materials link. So let's take a look at the modules. In every module, there's an overview. That overview is pretty simple. It will list some of the learning objectives, and it will give us an overview of what's actually due. And so notice module 1 is actually fairly, kind of ramping into what we're doing. There's a nice video on risk management and process approaches. And then we are going over chapter 1, and that's just kind of about what risk management is. There is the quiz. And then notice there are 2 lucid chart assignments in the module. So what are those lucid assignments? The first lucid assignment is to literally just learn the tool. On this assignment, there are several, there's a diagramming foundations. There is a how to sign up for a free Lucid education account. And then the link to actually go to the Lucid training. So there's no cost for the software. It is free for an education account. So please use these links to do so. And basically all we're doing in this is just opening and creating a new document, kind of trying to figure out how to create a flow chart, and just make some basic elementary entries on that flow chart, and then entering it in. I'm actually going to flip over to the Lucid site. So this is the Lucid Charts website. You might also hear of their newer app. There's Lucid Charts and there's Lucid Spark. Later on in the course, some of the templates, and I'll click on the template button because you're going to use a lot of templates. These little stars are simply Lucid Spark. And so they have different templates that are now new that we can access for free. Some of the templates have a different sign, and they are premium, and they're not included with the free version. But you can look just right at the very front, and you can tell one of the recent ones I was using was a risk matrix or a heat map. And so as we go through the assignments, you'll be using Lucid Charts to create real risk management visual data tools. And the templates are pretty simple to use. You'll just put in a search here. So one of the assignments uses a concept map. So, oops, spell it correctly. And so you can hit concept map, and there's a whole list of types of concept maps. And so in every assignment, you can rest assured there will be 1 to 3 how-to video links to specifically show how to use this chart and to build the specific type of visual data tool that you'll be required to do. And this is a great skill to put on your resume because it is real world. There's only a couple of assignments where I actually create a new document, and see right there, there's the Lucid Spark. And again, if you need to create it from scratch, like the first assignment, just follow the instructions. So let's go back to the modules. All right. So that's kind of just module one. And one of the things in several of the assignments, so that you can get practice, what you'll actually be doing is you'll be going in and replicating one of the images or diagrams or graphics that are in the textbook. We do that for two reasons. One, it's a great learning tool because as you're building the charts and going through the different components of the chart, and of course, you see you've got excellent instructions on how to build that chart. Then on this one in particular, you'll have a larger version of it in your textbook itself. And again, two reasons. You're learning the tool, you're getting practice at it. To be honest, I don't expect these to be perfect. I don't expect the beginning ones to be great. What I do expect is that as you learn the tool, that your visual data tools or visual data communication tools, meaning your graphics, images, and charts, progress and get better along the way. And module two is quite similar. You'll read the chapter textbook, take the quiz, all of the quizzes. So I'll take a moment that I got everybody's attention. Quiz! Oh, okay. Not a pop quiz. You know the quizzes are coming. They're 15 questions, so they're not extensively long. However, you have 30 minutes to complete the quiz. 10 multiple choice, 5 true false. Not all of the questions are from the textbook. So don't be surprised if you read a question and you need to jump over to your other monitor, if you have another monitor, or your Google window and do a quick Google search to find out a little bit on the answer for that question. AI is not permitted on the quizzes. There's also a dual session checker. And so please, on your honor, and AI might give you the wrong answer anyway. If you don't know the question and you can't reasonably look it up because the quizzes are open book. So since the quizzes are open book, if you have a two-system monitor like I do, I have the book open on the right side and I take the quiz on the left side. The point of the course is for you to learn the material, not to see what you can memorize, but so that you can commit it to memory, comprehend, and use the information that you're getting. So the way the quizzes are built, you have two chances. So you have first 30 minutes, and maybe a recommended way is answer the ones you know in the first 30 minutes. And then on the second chance, you get to build on your answers in the first chance. So let's say you got 10 right on your first try. You now have 30 minutes to figure out the answer to the 5 you missed. So there's really no reason why every student shouldn't ace those quizzes. Again, they're not designed to, be super rigorous. They're designed for you to look up, learn, and digest some of the basic information that's coming from the textbook, because the textbook is an industry standard. Now, again, not just used in academics, but used in the business world, and it is a wonderful source so that you can learn the lingo and understand the discipline. In module two, this is super important. We do the team building assignment. And I'm going to take a little time here to explain it. The rest of the modules are going to be fairly self-sufficient. So this video won't continue to linger on per se. So if you need a cup of coffee or grab a drink of water at the moment, go ahead and do so. But I'm going to open up the team charter. And this exercise is actually one that we use in the real world as business consultants, leadership consultants. And we go in and help organizations build high-performing teams. And one of the key factors of a high performing team is they have a team charter. Scarily, in America, probably the vast majority of organizations don't use team charters yet. It is a concept that's being built into training and higher education programs across the United States and have been for the last 10 years or so. But as younger people and people who are getting their degrees currently enter the workforce, this is becoming a more and more and more common activity. And every team and every organization that I've worked with that has gone through this exercise and built a team charter report back that it has made an incredible difference in the way that they communicate, that they work together as a team, and hold meaningful meetings that actually have positive outcomes. Meeting decisions are made, next steps are formulated, moving things forward. And also, it becomes part of the onboarding process for new employees because in the team charter, you actually identify how the team functions. And so there's a video. The video is on team dynamics and how to build a team charter. We're not going to cover that there, now. You'll watch it. There's a team weekly report that you, as the team leader, every week there should be a new team leader, is going to fill out and basically kind of say, hey, here's who worked on what this week in regard to our team project, and report back to make sure that all the team members are participating. Because we do reserve the right that if a student is not participating in the team, that they can be removed from that team and assigned all of the teamwork as an individual or grouped together with another team that might be a better fit for them. There's also a team charter template. It is required to use the team charter template. And in the video, I actually go over that template because it goes through, that template covers all 5 stages of team formation. And there are elements in the team charter that all of the team members must agree to in regard to how the team is going to function and communicate. There are also several different support materials. One is Jumpstart Your Team Charter. These are questions that you can ask during your team meeting to help spur and create ideas and contribute to the team charter, same as the other team charter handout. And then the team dynamics charter presentation is literally the presentation I use in the PowerPoint. So this is very important. The one thing I want to stress is that only the team leader needs to submit a team assignment. In Canvas, once the team leader submits the team assignment and I grade it, or the instructor grades it, excuse me, it will automatically populate the comments and the grade to all of the people on that team. Now, where do you find your team? That's underneath the People tab. So if you go to the People tab, you'll see that there's something called project groups. When you click on the project groups, now notice this is the blueprint shell, so there are no students enrolled, so there are no groups. But when you go to this project group as a student in your class, you will actually see 1 to 5, depending on how big the class is, group set up, and you will automatically be added to one of the groups. And so you do find that underneath the people. Now, unfortunately, without the project groups listed, I can't show you the team discussion rooms. But when you click on, let's say you're in group 1, and you click on the link that says group 1, you'll also see a link to a group 1 team discussion. And that is simply a place where the team, if they choose, can converse back and forth. But again, communication style and communication tools are one of the things the team agrees on when they form their team charter. So the Canvas team discussion is not mandatory. It's up to the team to decide how they want to communicate. All right, so let's flip back to the modules. All right. So in module 2, you'll notice there's an individual assignment. Each individual assignment says individual assignment. And you're going to build a risk control diagram. It's pretty simple. It's already in the book. So you're simply going to be replicating the risk control diagram, but you're also going to be adding text boxes or sticky notes to explain each component of that diagram. Um, you'll see the instructions are fairly detailed. And then moving on to module 3, very similar layout. You're going to find that this is the flow. You're going to have an individual assignment, usually something elucid. I think there's only one paper in this course, and there's only one discussion post. Actually, two. The first discussion post is just introducing ourselves, and the second discussion post is a team one. Now, in module 3, this is where we start the team project. It's really simple. We're going to use what are called B corporations. Now, a B corporation is a certified sustainable uh, corporation. And the corporation, and it's just literally found at bcorporation.net. So a B corporation is certified as a corporation that is committed to doing good while doing well. And you can read about the movement, their standards. There's a lot of B corporations actually here in the Tampa and St. Pete area and our surrounding areas in Florida. But you're going to use this Find a B Corp link, and you'll be able to search. There's thousands of them. The one thing that you have to remember when you talk about choosing a B corporation is that the B corporation, and you can right here, you don't have to pick one in the United States. Probably would recommend it because everything will be in English. But you want to pick a company or a corporation that has a global reach. Your final assignment requires you to do a study or an analysis of global risk to the B corporation. So throughout the entire course, I'm going to go back to Canvas. You're going to use this B corporation for all of your team assignments and some of your individual assignments. So choose wisely. It's incredibly important that you choose the right corporation. I've had in other classes where we use Aim to Flourish or B Corps, 2 weeks in, or in the social media class, I'm going to go, oh, I wish I would have chosen this company. Can I switch? Yes, you can switch. Unfortunately, you did all the other work on the other company, which would have helped you on your final project. Now you're going to have to redo that work, and that puts extra burden on the team. So make sure that as a team you choose wisely. Choose a larger organization that has a global reach, because you're going to do a deep dive into its risk management or enterprise risk management program. Again, module 4, very simple. Your first team project is in module 4. You're going to use Canva for that. If you've taken me before, you've already used Canva. And basically in this module, you're going to go through the operational risk management framework, each one of the 5 key areas or 5 steps. It's going to be really easy to do. The one thing that I want to point out to you is that there are 2 types of presentations in Canva in this course. There is one that is a simple presentation that does not require video, but it requires extensive speaker notes. Your slides should be very simple. 3 to 5 bullets, 3 to 7 words per bullet. But your speaker notes, your detail goes into the speaker notes. One of the things that a lot of teams forget to do is that, when they export their presentation, they forget to export it as a PDF. You have to click the button that says include speaker notes. Otherwise, when you submit it, there's no speaker notes. Best way to do it is just submit a link to the presentation in Canva. If you do use PowerPoint, which is a suitable uh, uh, application, when you go to save it or print it as a PDF, it will ask you again, do you want to include the printer notes or the speaker notes? Make sure you click yes, or slide notes. All right. The other type of team presentation is one that includes a video. And so the one that includes videos, you will have, actually, this one includes the speaker notes. The other type of Canva presentation, excuse me, will include instructions on how to create a narrated with video. In other words, in the little bottom corner, just like right now, I'm on your, there we go, upper corner in this video. Both PowerPoint and Canva have that capability, and each team member must present in that presentation. I prefer the video ones, so the vast majority of your presentations are going to be the video type. Notice in Module 3, we introduced that pair model that we talked about, and there's that 5x5 heat map or heat matrix. And again, the modules kind of follow that same flow. Lastly, Module 7, there's the one discussion, and this discussion is for your team to discuss how you're going to work global supply chain risk into your presentation. So it's not just busy work, it is applicable to your final project. And then the presentation on the human factors, that also should go into your final project. I want to just click your final project real quick so we can kind of go over it. It will be a talking video presentation. So if you haven't had me before, in every one of these assignments that require you to do video, you'll see these video links. So hopefully in this one, you're simply just reviewing it because you've already done several of these types of Canva presentations. But it's important to understand your final project, because your final project is worth 15% of your grade. And I believe the teamwork aspect of this course is worth 60% of your grade. Your individual efforts are worth 40%. So it's very important that we are able to work in teams successfully, and that replicates a real world environment. If you can't work on a team, if you can't work with other people in a corporate environment, there's no way that you will retain. You might land a good job, but you're not going to retain it, because the way of the world is work groups, and that's how we function in higher paying jobs. So your team should have selected a global corporate, a global B corporation, right? And one that we don't cover in this class, which you'll not have to worry about it, because we're not. I'm not sure, but I don't think there's any B corporations in the textbook, so we should be safe there. And again, there's the link. You would have already done this first step in Module 3. Present a brief overview of the company. You will do that in your very first presentation. So this section should already be done. What's super important is researching the company, because you're going to need the risk management, ERM, what they're doing with it and what they say their risks are. So every year, corporations put out a CEO annual report. It's required by law. So you can search for that or go on their website. Many times the annual report and the report that's called a 10K are found on the investors page on their website. And so you might just do a simple Google search. Here's the name of the corporation, their 10K report or their investor site, and find a link that way. But usually it's right on their website. It might be underneath the About tab, and then go to the CEO page. But one way or the other, you'll find it. And again, it will be many times on the investor page. is where you'll find it. The annual report and the 10K are where you get all of the detailed information on any publicly traded corporation, and what they're doing in regard to risk management, marketing, budget, future plans, everything. You'll also find all of their executive officers and their corporate structure typically. So that should be done. You will go into some of the pair categories. So as we go through the assignments, the first one will be on reputation. So that should kind of be done. You'll do one on assets. You'll do one on environment. You'll do one on people, but it will be a, a surface level one early in the class. Module 7 is really where the people piece comes in. And the people piece in risk management is usually handled by what are called change managers, or organizational change management professionals, which is part of the risk management and continuous process improvement discipline. So you'll create 4 heat matrices for all 4 of those areas. And you're going to, in that heat matrix, and you're going to build that in Lucid Charts, you're going to have sticky notes or text boxes that cover all 5 of these. Some of these, as far as risk area, likelihood, impact, you'll learn how to do that. That'll already be in the chart. So again, you'll have a lot of this done for the 8th week. You're also going to do the 5 whys and 6 M's. You'll do force field analysis, fishbone, balanced scorecard. All of these are assignments that you will have already had earlier in the class. Now, once you get to this point, you're probably going to want to perfect them and improve on what you did earlier in the class, because you'll know more. You'll have better skills, and you'll be able to improve on what you've already built. And frankly, some of it you will probably maybe want to redo, so it has new information and better information. And then finally, you're going to consider all of the information that you learned. You're going to make a set of recommendations. And these recommendations are to the senior leadership of the organization on how they can mitigate the risks that you have uncovered, and how to improve their ERM, or Enterprise Risk Management Program. I have it in bold. Make sure you justify the reasons for your recommendations. One of the most important parts of being a risk manager is convincing the leadership to take action on what you've presented. If they don't take action on what you've presented, then why did you present it in the first place? So it is the risk manager's ultimate responsibility to use persuasive presentation, persuasive speech, to convince their leadership to take action on the risks that they've identified, so that the organization is protected. And then finally, again, somebody will prepare that, this is a self-narrated with video Canva presentation, and you'll submit it as a MP4 file, or you can send the direct Canva link. Again, PowerPoint is an acceptable substitution, but I'll tell you, Canva is super easy to use, and it's a great tool. And the student version is also free. So all in all, it's 140 points, but it is worth 15% of your grade. So hopefully this overview has helped out in regard to navigating the course, and especially if you're teaching the course. I appreciate everyone's time, and hopefully the video wasn't too belabored in regard to length. But again, welcome to the course, welcome to teaching the course, and I wish everyone the best. Do well while doing good.